Good morning, folks, and welcome back to Wishwell Farms for the start of another busy week. It's 7 a.m. I've already been out here for about an hour and a half getting things ready for the crew to show up. I almost have the trailer done. I can't finish it up until we pick sweet corn. I'll be sending the guys out to pick, maybe 150 to 250 dozen ears of sweet corn. Just depends how good the patch is. I'm going to have the girls head down and start picking field tomatoes. It's still not going to be a great pick, but this is when they start coming on really fast. So we got to stay on top of them. We got to get those out of the field today because there is a chance of rain tomorrow. Today's kind of a juggling act for me. I got a lot of moving parts happening. It's the same thing every Monday. So when the guys get back from picking sweet corn, we'll get the sweet corn on the trailer so I can have that thing ready to get on the road. And then while they go out and start picking zucchini and cucumbers, while the girls are also picking tomatoes, I'm gonna get the bean packing station set up here so we're ready to pick green beans. And then I'll take the tractor out and pick 40 tubs or 50 bushels of green beans. And hopefully this all coordinates and works like I have planned in my head. The guys will be coming up with zucchini and cucumbers around the same time the girls are coming up with tomatoes, at the same time that I'm hoping to come up out of the field with 40 tubs of green beans. Then we'll all be up here together and we'll get everything washed, packed, cleaned, and into the cooler. Oh, I just thought of something I wanted to mention. In the prior video to this one, I ended the video with a question for you guys about how to handle moving forward with the busyness of our farm and who's going to succeed me, and thinking about scaling back and complaining and being a little pessimistic. First off, I appreciate everybody's concerns and feedback and suggestions. It's very much appreciated. That's just kind of the way I feel at the end of every week. Those of you who run small businesses or farm for a living know exactly what I'm talking about. After resting through the weekend and recuperating and resetting, I'm ready to go again. We're in the middle of the busiest part of our season, the height. We've actually probably already peaked and we're starting to head downhill slowly towards Labor Day. Usually it kind of picks back up again during late September and early October for pumpkin season, but I'm not growing pumpkins this year. I am going to address that again in a future video about why we are no longer running our on-farm stand or growing pumpkins. But I don't want to get into that right now. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm doing fine. I have plenty of energy. I have plenty of help. This year has been a little bit different. It has been a little more stressful for me compared to past years because I had to hire an entire brand new crew. Other than my kids and my nephew down the road, everybody is brand new. And that has been a little tougher on me. It's caused me to have to be there babysitting a little bit more, if you will, being involved in the actual harvest more. Usually I stand back and just orchestrate things from behind the scenes, kind of as a manager, which is what I should be doing at age 50 after doing this for 25 years. This year was just a little tougher. And another thing that makes it tougher is that I'm a seasonal business. I don't go year round. Yeah, I have things that keep me busy year round on the farm, but we're not harvesting and selling and operating our farm markets year round. So I do get some downtime. But that makes it tough because I have to hire seasonal employees, and I'm basically starting from scratch every year. Normally, 40 to 50% of our employees come back every year, and I don't have to retrain them, obviously, but and they can help me train the new employees. So usually it's a lot easier. This has been one of the worst years, hardest years for me in over a decade. So that's kind of why I was complaining and venting a little bit in the prior video. Anyway, just wanted to address that real quick. Let's get back to work. So before I can set up my bean packing area, which goes right where I'm standing right now, with our lift, our shaker table, water troughs for dunking and cooling the beans, washing the beans, I need to sweep up this floor a little bit just so it's a little cleaner. It's all covered in dirt, dried up mud from last week's muddy, rainy days. So I just like to have a clean floor. It makes cleanup a lot easier when we finish up packing beans. So I used to have this on casters and I could roll it around. And I may do that again, but the last 2 sets of them I've used, they just vibrate to pieces. I can put the brakes on them. It would move around, start shredding the wheels, bending the wheels, so I just had to end up taking them off. It was way louder with it being on casters too. It sure was nice for rolling it around, but they didn't work, so I'm back to just setting it right, the steel foot pads right on the concrete floor. It stinks because I have to use the forklift to move it around, but you know, we only do it once a week. In a perfect world, I'd have this in a permanent location and wouldn't have to do this each week. Maybe I'll try some steel casters next. Getting our corn picked for the day. It's a wet one out there. Lots of dew today. Lots of grass in this patch, unfortunately. It got out of hand here, but at least the corn was sized up well enough that it didn't affect it. So it seemed like halfway decent corn. A lot riper than it was the other day, right?
Yeah. The last pass had really big.
Yeah. And don't worry about wasting your time shanking it unless it's like a foot long. Just pick it through. Alrighty, I'll see you guys up at the barn in a half hour. So I've had dozens and dozens of comments on this trailer wondering where the canopy and the frame came from, who makes them, where can I get them, etc., etc. From Facebook Messenger, comments in the YouTube videos, emails. So I'm going to address this right now so you guys know where I got this and where you can get one. So this is called the Peddler. It is manufactured by Rainbow Industries in Springfield, Ohio. They do not provide the trailer or the wood. That is provided by you. They provide the steel frame, the air shocks for keeping the wings open, and the canopy. I don't know what the current pricing is right now. I have not even checked for a couple years. I'm sure it's higher than it was when I purchased mine. If I had to guess ballpark right now, I probably have over $5,000 in that, all in. All the wood, the trailer, and the Peddler kit. Shoot, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 6 or 7. It's been so long since I built one of these, I don't remember. So this trailer is the wide version. It's 6 foot 10 inches wide by 18 long. I would recommend the wide version because the regular 6 foot or 6'2" trailers, whatever they are very tight to work in. This gives you a little more space for working inside the trailer if that's the way you want to set it up. So around the bottom of the utility trailer is just a 4x8 sheet of plywood that I ripped to fill in the space all the way around. And you can see here the front is just a 2x6. Then I got 2x8s all the way around the top of the rail. And you know, you have to cut it in half to be able to make room for these T-braces, anchors for holding the steel frame up. This was something I added later on, but it's very nice. This is where we display our sweet corn. Just folds up out of the way for travel, but comes down to load with corn, and then we have this little piece here that goes in so the corn can't fall out. And we can probably start with, let's see, 8 times 4, at least 30 dozen here. 30 to 35 dozen if you heap it up real full. In the back here, it looks like I have a 2x10, and then just more plywood across the bottom. The entire canopy is held on by bungee cord straps. They provide those as well. Climb up in here in the trailer. This is just a standard treated floor that comes on any utility trailer. I put a 4x4 post here, kind of a little sales desk pedestal that'll hold my scale, my money box, and credit card machine. And then the credit card machine goes there so it doesn't take up space when the money box is opened. And I added these little pull and pack t-shirt bag racks in numerous locations, convenient locations for customers. The ones on these uprights swing out during sales day, and then for travel we swing them back in. I also mounted a little price card sign here for taping up our prices so they're visible to the customers. What else can I tell you about this trailer? So these little brackets, sometimes they do turn on you a little bit and you have to make adjustments with these gas shocks, and from time to time these gas shocks or air shocks or whatever they are will go bad. But these trailers are fantastic for selling at little roadside stands. They're not really the greatest for farmers markets because everyone else sets up like a pop-up tent, like an easy up type tent. And we do have one location where we can use, our second trailer. That works pretty good at our small hometown farmers market. But at 99% of farmers markets, these won't work well because the customers have to walk all the way around the trailer. Another thing I just thought of is we used to have customers walk into the trailer tongue and trip because they're looking at produce on the trailer. So we built this little table here that fits right over the top of the tongue, and people obviously then have to walk around the table, and there's no risk of them walking into the tongue. And it's a perfect place to display our tomatoes. We'll get all these tomatoes out and load them up on the tomato table, is what we call it. If you're wondering how it travels down the highway, you can drive as fast as you want and there's never an issue. We go 70 mile an hour to our location, and this tarp is held on with these ratchet straps, so you can crank those down nice and tight to keep everything really snug so it doesn't flap in the wind while driving down the freeway. There's probably a lot more detail I could show you about this trailer, but just wanted to address this trailer real quick in this video. I'm going to drop a link to Rainbow Industries down in the description. I'll try to remember to pin it to the top comment as well. So those of you who want to build something out like this and contact Rainbow Industries, you'll have that information ready to go. All right, we just got up with our sweet corn. This stuff looks pretty good. This is Caliber. It's a little harder to yank off the stalk, but it's nice big ears. It's bean picking time again. I got my Oxbow BH100 down here ready to roll in a very grassy bean patch, but it is loaded. We only need 50 bushels today. We should be able to pick that in less than an hour. My son just arrived with our 40 tubs. 40 tubs equals 50 bushels. I have 32 rows here. There's probably 120 bushels out here. So we probably won't even need to pick half of it. And this is the dewiest I've ever picked. There's a lot of dew today. It's 9:45, so it's definitely starting to burn off, but we'll see how this machine performs in this heavy dew. I'm hoping it can blow all the leaves out okay. All right, here's our first round. You can see how wet they are, but man, they are beautiful. Don't like to see that. That was probably just a bad one on the ground. They got scooped up. Yeah, they look really good. So this the field length gets shorter on each pass as we go this way. And there's some weeds, and there's a really bad area right here that flooded, and some soybeans. So in light of all that, there is not 120 bushels out here like I thought. 16 rounds is what we got, times 4 tubs. We should end up with about 64 tubs if we pick them all. Still a pretty good yield. We just finished harvesting green beans. We did about 2/3 of the patch, so about what I expected. Putting the last of them into the box truck. Pretty good pick. But they're definitely needing wash today. A lot of like dried dirt. Now that the dew's drying, they're dirty, leafy, stemmy, but we'll get them cleaned up nice. We are in the middle of washing, packing green beans. We're hoping today's a better watermelon harvest. It's already looking a little bit better. A lot of small ones with cucumber beetle damage right here. You can see a lot of them did not get very big, but they are ripe. We're getting some nice piles out here. A lot of mediums, some smalls. A few jumbos here and there. It's a nice one. This is what I wish they all looked like. That's a perfect 45 count melon right there. The variety over there that they're picking is Sweet Polly. These are El Capitan or Red Garnet. I got Red Garnet, El Capitan, however you say it, right here on these 5 rows. They have the darker rind pattern. I'll show you again how we decide whether to pick the melon or not. So there's a full-size watermelon. That's a big one. And we look at the stem coming off the watermelon where it connects to the vine. And then right there in the corner is a little tendril with a little curly pigtail looking thing right there. See how green that is? Completely green. When that turns brown, normally that melon is ready to pick. With all these they left behind, you can see the tendril is green. That one's starting to turn brown a little bit. Another green one right there. Green. Green. This one here has a brown tendril. See how that's all dried up? A lot of times you get a little yellow belly where they set on the plastic. We get them all rowed up on the outside rows, and then I'll bring the flatbed wagon down here with 8 bins. We're gonna load all these up, and then we'll send them through the vegetable washer. This one here, I probably wouldn't pick, even though it's got a dried tendril. Still a little green at the base, and the yellow belly still has kind of a white, light green stripe growing through it. Once that's solid yellow, it would be ready, and I would pick it. But that one's probably just a hair on the green side. All right, I found a big beauty here with a dried tendril right there. Some guys may look at the second tendril as well. Follow down the vine, there's the second tendril that's dried up. So I'm just gonna pop the vine off and carry that big boy to the outside row. There's quite a few out here. It's just too bad so many are smalls and mediums. And now we're getting ready to enter this flooded area. This plastic has been underwater probably 3 different times during heavy rains. So I'm not expecting too good of a yield right here. And then down at the other end, the morning glory has taken over. So between the flooding, the morning glory, and the cucumber beetles, not so great of a watermelon crop this year. Looks like they were definitely riper down here in the Morning Glory section. We got some pretty good rows of melons here all the way to the road. Unfortunately, a lot of small ones. Morning Glory kind of choked out the vines down here. Currently washing our watermelon. Crack. If you got any big muddy spots, sometimes you got to hold them on the brushes. I'm getting muddy tips coming through on some of these. Here we go. Just about finished up washing watermelon on our final 3 partial bins here. The red garnet and El Capitan definitely look a little bit better. But you can see we still have a fair amount of cucumber beetle damage, unfortunately. But some of them have none. Watermelon don't travel through the washer all that great. They kind of like to sit there and get stuck. We're doing 2 sizes, large and small. Alrighty folks, this is where we're wrapping up this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I will see you all again real soon down on the farm.